Hello, I'm Yiyang. I'm a final year PhD student in sociology. Although the whole title of my PhD program is the one's quantitative methods, but my supervisor, well, they are doing sociology. So I'm also kind of like based in QStat, but also based in the sociology department. Thank you so much for offering me the opportunity to present my work. So my thesis is about ethnic and socioeconomic segregation in education system in England. When I was preparing for this presentation, initially I was thinking about to talk about a related topic to see how scholars contribute to the debate over multiculturalism here in Britain. But then I thought, well, I'm now in the final year of my PhD. It might be good to have a brief review about how the idea of research impact is reflected in my previous years, especially to look at how it is reflected in choosing a research topic in my digital application and also a working placement opportunity. I will start with my story of choosing the research topic. So as the roadmap shows, so 3 months after I started my PhD program, I had to change the research topic due to the rejection of my initial data request. Then there have been several different sources helping me to find the new topic. So the first, my supervisors. So they work in the area of ethnicity, immigrant, social equality, and both of them are experts in administrative data. A good topic covering all those areas and also supported by administrative data is school segregation. This picture, as you can see, this picture is comes from a famous documentary, which is called The Great Britain School Swap. It was Ellis, yeah. Well, he recommended me this documentary, so it's really helpful. This 3-episode documentary on Channel 4 was released in 2019, so that was 2 years ago. So basically, it describes a radical experiment that explores resource ethnic segregation here in Britain. Pupils from different schools in different areas, so they basically just swap places. Well, the places where they live and where they go to school are actually quite near, but apparently there's a lack of intergroup contact. So the less diverse ethnic composition in schools is also reflected. It's also addressed in reports from public and also the search sector. So you can see from the right side, understanding school society in England. Well, in this widely cited report, well, authors found that across all schools in 2016, about 26% primary schools and 40.6% of secondary schools were found to be ethnically segregated or potentially contribute to segregation. Collectively, this makes the school segregation a very interesting topic to look at. And this is a literature part of my final thesis. Quite a lot of things to cover. You can see I talk about the post-war immigration history, the related policy and legislation, and also the series includes the simulation series and also the multiculturalism. There have been quite a lot of policy debates over those topics, and also I need to look at the segregation, the second generation immigrants in education and labor market, and also so with no doubt I need to definitely introduce the education system in the UK, and there's quite a lot of subtopics to cover, just like parental choices, catchment area, different school types, school admission policy. So all those factors can have an impact on school segregation. And specifically, those are the research questions I aim to cover in the final thesis. There's still quite a lot, and I have got the answer to some of the questions, just like, is school segregation increasing or not in the past 2 decades? Well, the turning point is the year of 2007, and how does segregation level vary by geography? Well, London and West Midlands are found to have the highest segregation level. So how does segregation vary by ethnic group? The South Asian, well, it is still the group which of the greatest segregation level, and how does the segregation level vary by school type, etc., etc. I'm now currently just like working on the lot 3 questions, so still quite a lot to do. Well, let's move to the data application. So as you can see, well, I submitted my data application in January 2019. Well, it took about a whole year to have the data ready. Well, the data well, I'm using is called National Pupil Database, or NPD. So basically, it is the education census data in England, jointly hosted by Department for Education and Office for National Statistics. So under the Digital Economy Act, researchers need to finish loads of paperwork and trainings to become the ONS, the Office for National Statistics, accredited researchers. This is necessary. It is necessary to become a accredited researcher to assess the data. Well, the administrative data like MPD, well, can only be accessed via the ONS Secure Research Service online platform. So you can't just download the data and open it on your own laptop. Well, actually, you have to log in the online platform with an appointed desktop with a static IP. So all those kind of like complexities with accessing the data just generate quite a lot of difficulties, actually. So anyway, so the SRS, the Secure Research Service online platform, is a trusted research environment that provides access to de-identified unpublished data to enable research for public good. So what is an administrative data? Well, as an valuable research resource, administrative data is information routinely collected by organizations for operational purpose. It has several advantages, such as a whole population coverage, because it is census data, and near complete follow-up, and also great potential for data linkage, which I will talk about later. But the administrative data has been so far underutilized because of the access and technical barrier, just like what I've mentioned, that it took me for about a whole year to finish my data application and finally get access to the data. So in 2018, there was a new program established. So it is called Administrative Data Research UK program, ADR UK. It seeks to increase the use of administrative data by creating linked research-ready resources for multiple research purposes. And this flowchart here, well, it shows the cooperation process of the ADR UK partners, and also ONS, Office for National Statistics, external researchers, and also different departments of the central government. Well, one of the latest funding program is called Data First. I have attached the several links here, so you can have a look if you're interested. Well, one substantial effort in this data linking program, in this Data First data linking program, is to link the justice data hosted by the Ministry of Justice, and also the education data hosted by the Department for Education. So with the data linkage, well, researchers are able to suggest what is going wrong in the educational trajectory of those juvenile offenders, and what kind of interventions can the society offer. So this is kind of like a great potential of data linkage. Because previously different departments, well, they don't share the data with each other, and also they don't share the data with external researchers based in UK institutes. And apparently this data linkage opened so quite a lot new opportunities to have some very exciting new findings. Well, in late 2019, when the data linkage program was initially started, the data science lab at the Department for Education also started an internship plan for the very first time. So we're looking for PhD candidates to work on several different research projects during the 3 months internship. But one of the programs that they are most interested in was exactly this data linkage using the linked data of the MOJ and DFE. So to recruit the PhD students, the data science lab at the DFE had a conversation with Upend, this UPN, the University Policy Engagement Network. The UPenn is a community of UK universities committed to increasing the impact of research on policy. Again, I've attached the homepage here. If you're interested, you can just simply click and have a look. So here at Exeter, we have our so basically, this is how how UPenn works. So universities have their own point of contact to have regular conversations with the UPenn. So here at Exeter, we have the IAB team, which is our innovation, impact, and business team. So it is a good idea to contact them if you're interested in any potential internship or reach out opportunities. Yes, and just like here are some examples. So we have volunteering enrichment scheme. Actually, don't really have to do computer science. We have psychology students attending this program before, and they're doing a really good job. So this program is based, as the name suggests, it's based in Alan Turing Institute, which is inside of the British Library. It's really exciting. It's really a fancy program. And some of you may have already come across a second one, the UK Research and Innovation Policy internships. Basically, students have a chance to work with MPs in the parliament. So this is how the second internship works. And yes, time really flies, and now we are approaching to the end of 2021. It has been a tough time since the pandemic hit. So I basically had to leave at the end of last year, and I went back to work from the start of this year. But everything was just moves really slowly. And I finished kind of like later to review by August, but now I have only 1 year left. Although there's a workload is still massive, I need to just finish the rest part of my thesis, which is actually the majority part of my thesis in this 1 year left. And I need to finish the data analysis, need to write it up. Yeah, still a lot of things to do. So I hope you all stay well and healthy, because a good mental and physical health is absolutely the prerequisite of making progress. So take care of yourself. The last slide is about some general reflections. So the first point is I've noticed there's a time difference in research interest between researchers and public sectors. When I had my presentation as a DFE, as a Department for Education, I got a chance to talk with one of the authors of a integrated community grant paper. So I have already shown the paper, the public report in previous slides. So I had a chance to talk with one of the authors of that strategy grant paper. And he was really kind. He told me what the team was recently been looking at, and he told me that their research interest just slightly shifted from school segregation into the relationship between residential and school segregation. So without such kind of conversations, it is really difficult for external researchers to know what the policymakers are really interested in. But the good news is that the partnership like the ADR, the administrative data research, such kind of partnership is now building bridges to connect researchers and public sectors to create potential collaboration opportunities. The second point I've realized, I found really inspiring is the working style of some public sectors, as many tech companies, internet companies, they're now following a working style, a working framework called Agile. So a short version of the Agile framework is build the car while driving it. So that means you can't get, you don't need to wait for everything to get ready. Just like for me, well, in my case, I don't have to just wait for everything, but I can just start writing immediately instead of burying myself in endless reading. So there's no perfect research plan, and writing is not a linear progress. It's not a linear process. So start writing, have an ugly draft, ask for feedback, and so I move on to the next chapter, and then well, still keep revising the previous one. I guess now I have a better understanding about how to develop a PhD dissertation thesis. Well, the last point is methods and techniques matter, but it's more about telling a good story. Just like the title of my PhD program is called Advanced Quantitative Methods. Well, in the first 2 years of my PhD, I just spent so much time just diving into those methodologies and fancy statistical techniques. But I felt, kind of like got lost. So consequently, my first draft really looked like some kind of like a technical report instead of a proper research paper. I received such this similar comment from the people at the Department for Education and also from my supervisors. So what is your conclusion? What is your finding? What is the story about? Instead of, I really should not focus too much on the methodology. So this is kind of like something I really need to keep reflecting myself. So methodology is kind of like the means to get to the findings. It really means a lot, but fundamentally, the ultimate goal of the PhD thesis is to tell a good story. It's quite short. My presentation is quite short, so that's all what I would like to share with you today. So if you have any questions, all questions are really welcomed, and thank you so much. It's great to